Hey guys, Todd Gamel here. It's been quite a few months since our last video on My Ketogenic Life. What happened is we had a big tornado come through here and it destroyed almost all of our property. And right now my studio's kind of not working. So I'm sitting right now in my new dining room. Just wanted to talk to you guys real quick about something you're going to experience when you start on a ketogenic diet that not a lot of people talk about on videos, but just about everybody seems to ask about when they're on the ketogenic forums, and that is changing bowel habits. When you start on a ketogenic diet and you really cut out all the carbohydrates, or as some people call the carbage, which is a carbohydrate garbage, you're going to find that you may experience some bowel issues. One of those most commonly faced by people who first start on a ketogenic diet is constipation. I experienced some constipation when I first started on my diet. Just for reference, I would have a bowel movement once a day, generally in the morning. Once I went on a ketogenic diet, initially I would go 3, maybe 4 days before I would have a bowel movement. And then when I did have a bowel movement, I was extremely constipated. Now, there's a lot of different factors that can contribute to constipation when you're on a ketogenic diet. One of them can be, when you start on a ketogenic diet, it's going to be very important that you drink as many fluids as you can. Increased fluid intake will definitely help you from being constipated. You also need to make sure that you're going to get enough of the good fats. That's your avocado, your coconut oil. I found that once I increased the amount of coconut oil and the good fats and I got to the goal of where I needed to be, my constipation over time subsided. However, initially I did have to take a stool softener, and you can buy those at Walmart or any other supermarket over the counter. I use the Equate brand. So don't be alarmed that if you start having a lot of constipation when you first start your ketogenic diet. That's normal. And the funny thing is, when you get on the forums, you'll see someone say, "I pooped today." And then somebody else will go, "Yeah, me too." And you know, it's scary for some people who have had a regular bowel habit, and then all of a sudden, okay, I haven't had a bowel movement. And they go 2, 3, 4 days, and they're going, okay, what's wrong? Well, it's just your body adjusting to the new diet or way of eating. So just wanted to put that out there because I see people talk about it all the time, but nobody seems to ask why, or is it normal? And you know, it is normal. I have been on the ketogenic diet now. It is August, so we're talking about 10 months. And my bowel habits have come back around to where they're normal, and I have a bowel movement probably once every 2 days. Not quite where I was at before, but at least now it's pretty consistent. And I'm not having the constipation issues that I had before, which is really nice, because being constipated, honestly, it sucks. But since I've been on my ketogenic diet, I am down 67 pounds. And I went to my endocrinologist back in June, and I had my labs done. And I just wanted to show you what my labs look like 10 years after being on a ketogenic diet. I think you're going to be really surprised about how well it has controlled my diabetes and what my lipids and my triglycerides look like. My doctor was just floored with how well my labs looked. And I have people asking me all the time in the hospital where I work, what did I do? Did I have a bariatric surgery? No, I didn't have a gastric bypass. I tell them I had a metabolic bypass. I started on a ketogenic diet. And many people look at you and go like, what? Ketogenic, what? Because they don't know. And these are medical professionals. And they just do not know about the ketogenic diet or the benefits of the ketogenic diet. So I'm going to show you my labs, and I'll get right back to you in just a second. Okay guys, one of the biggest concerns many people have about ketogenic diets are the high amount of fats that you're going to be eating. In my case, it's about 70% fat. So how do you monitor what is too much fat and what is not too much fat? Well, fortunately or unfortunately, I have to have my labs drawn every 6 months by an endocrinologist, primarily because I had my thyroid irradiated because I have Graves' disease, which is hyperthyroidism. So because of that, I get my labs checked every 6 months, which is great for me while I'm on a ketogenic diet, is that I get a full lipid panel and everything every 6 months, so I can really look at my progress while I'm on a ketogenic diet. And so what I'm wanting to share with you today is I'm going to put some slides up here while I talk about my labs, and that is going to be how well my labs have turned out while I'm on a ketogenic diet. Now, I have heard on some of the forums that some people see an initial spike in cholesterol during the first couple months, and that may be so. I'm going to be honest, I did not have my labs drawn until 6 months after I was on the ketogenic diet. I didn't do them at 3 month time. My physician said the insurance wouldn't pay for it, so I said, you know what the hell, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound. So I was going to wait until I had been on the diet for 6 months before I got my labs, and I got them back about 2 months ago. So what we're going to look at first is our HDL. Now, high density lipoprotein, my HDL went from 34 to 62. It doubled in the number, which, you know, it's pretty amazing. Your HDL is your good cholesterol, and you really like to have a higher number. One of the easiest ways to increase your HDL, of course, other than diet, is from exercise. So HDL went from 34 to 62. Now, next we want to talk about our LDL, and that's our low density lipoproteins. Now, my LDL actually did increase. It went from 38 to 56. Now, that is an increase slightly. However, anything less than 70 is considered ideal for a patient who is diabetic. So my LDL, while it did increase a little bit, still stayed in the ideal range, which is really pretty fantastic. Triglycerides. This is the one where my doctor, he circled my labs and he was just really kind of floored about it. I talked about my triglyceride level went from 101 down to 51. That is a 50% reduction in my triglycerides. No matter how much fat I'm eating right now, I'm eating good fats, no triglycerides. My triglyceride level was cut in half. That reduces my risk for stroke and heart attack. It's amazing how much it reduces that risk. But the big thing that I was really wanted to look at and have been most concerned about is, as a diabetic, I wanted to see what my hemoglobin A1C was. Now, hemoglobin A1C is it tests your blood sugar over about a 3 month period and gives you a mean or an average. So while you could cheat before you went to your doctor and fast and have them take a blood sugar and be normal, you can't cheat when it comes to hemoglobin A1C. It's going to measure the amount of dextrose in your sugar over a sustained period. So just to let you know, before I started my ketogenic diet, my hemoglobin A1C was 7.1. After being on a ketogenic diet for 10 months, and I may have said years earlier, but it's 10 months, my hemoglobin A1C has decreased to 5.1. That is fantastic. A normal range for hemoglobin A1C is 4.6. So right now I'm right smack dab in the middle. And so what does that mean for me? That means I haven't had any insulin since September of 2016. I still take my metformin. I do take 1,000 milligrams twice a day. I take it primarily because it does have some kidney protective properties, and I'm going to be 55 next month, and It costs $4, and if it protects my kidneys and there's no really side effects or harm by taking metformin, I will continue to take it just as a kidney protective. At this point, like I said earlier, I'm down 67 pounds. I've been really happy with the ketogenic diet. I'm kind of at a stall point for me. And I tend to be in that 180 to 185 range, averaging more about 182 pounds. Some of that is that as I've been doing more weight training, I have put on some more muscle mass, and that's really obvious to me when I look in the mirror and see that. Muscle weighs more, it also burns more energy. So while I can definitely tell in the muscle structure and my body structure that I have lost more weight, the scale isn't necessarily telling me that. But the big way to tell if you're losing weight when you're on a ketogenic diet is to look and see how your clothes fit. I actually happen to have a large t-shirt on right now, which is a little large on me, but it's comfortable. I can wear a medium, and a medium fits pretty well, although I still have, a significant amount of loose skin around my belly, and so sometimes it kind of sticks out a little bit. My waist, I'm down to a 32-inch waist, and I believe I was a 46 when I started this ketogenic way of eating. So that is a 12 to 14-inch reduction in my waist size. So while my weight may not drop any, my clothes size is, and that's what you want to focus on once you get really close to your goal weight. It's how your clothes fit and how your body looks, not the weight that you see on the scale. Now, having said that, I still weigh myself once a week. It is on Thursday. It just happened to be the day that I started, and so that's my weigh day. If you're weighing yourself every day or 2 or 3 times a week, you're doing yourself a disservice, because you're going to see a lot of weight fluctuation. The biggest example for me is it's Texas. It's hot right now, and we're still doing a lot of work on the property to get it situated after the tornado. I may have told you we lost essentially everything. We have a new house. We lost many of our outbuildings and most of the trees on our property. Having said that, I get up and I'm outside on my days off from the hospital, and I'm working right away. 5:30. I come in at 11 o'clock. It's pretty hot. I sweat a lot. I can drop 2 pounds just in that morning, just from fluids. So remember, a lot of fluid retention. Fluid is weight. The scale is really not your friend. Initially it is. If it uses it as an encouragement tool, but when you get closer to your goal weight, you just need to chuck that scale away. But if you're like me and you got to weigh once a week, just do it. But focus more on the way you look, the way you feel, and the way your clothes fit. And it doesn't matter what your weight tells you. I suspect in the next 2 or 3 months, I may actually put a little bit of weight on as I've gotten more intense into my weight training, and I put on heavier weights. I'm building more muscle mass, so muscle mass weighs more. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching this video. I know the lighting and everything is not perfect right now, but I've been putting it off for a while just because I don't have the studio set back up, and I really wanted to get some information out to you guys. If you're on a ketogenic diet, stay keto strong. Remember, there's only one rule to a ketogenic diet, and that is you need to keep your carbohydrates less than 50 a day, and you will be in ketosis. You don't need to buy any supplements, nothing that has ketones in it. It doesn't matter whether you use an artificial sweetener, as long as your total carbohydrate count for the day is less than 50, you will be in ketosis. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. I'll get back to you soon. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more polished than it is this time. The lighting will be a little better, but thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.